Hello, everyone. Yolafa here. Uh, I'm gonna keep my voice down a little bit because I'm a brand new cafe. This is just discovered by walking around in the area where I just had lunch. Give you guys a roundabout shot. Hello. So this one has a wonderful outdoor view. It's pretty cool. My first time ever. And let's see how the coffee tastes. Let's do a coffee taste first before we talk about the topic of the day, which is how do you pitch NIO shares to your friends? I think this is the perfect setup to teach you guys how to pitch it. Oh, so different. This one's super bitter. Wow, this is probably the most bitter coffee on my entire trip. But the aftertaste is unique. It has a very special aftertaste I cannot identify, almost peppery. It's very good, very unique coffee. I'm gonna find out later where they source the coffee. Now I understand why it's so expensive. The peppery taste is very strong. Yeah, starts with smoke but ends up in pepper. One of the most unique coffee I've ever tasted. All right, now talking about the video of the day is how do you pitch Neo to everybody you know? And I think this is a rather important topic because you're going to do a lot of pitching. Because the first step before you become a multimillionaire with new shares by 2026 is that you need to tell everybody about NIO and the share price marching towards $100 per share by December 2026. And the first thing what people tell you that is it is a scam, it is impossible, it is wishful thinking, it is a dream that you will never fulfill. Basically, everybody is going to tell you it's impossible, one way or another. So how do you talk to people about it? So the way how I have talked to you guys on the internet about Neo 100 is completely different to how you should be talking about Neo 100 to your friends, like in a coffee setup. Imagine you invite your friends for coffee and you say something like, I just need 30 minutes of your time. I'm going to do something big with my life and I want a second opinion. This is probably the best way you can get this idea come across to them. Don't tell them you want to sell them an investment idea. That is usually counterproductive. If someone wants to invest in NEO, it has to come from within. The motivation has to come from within. It cannot come from external factors. Particularly, it won't happen if the idea is to invest all the money you have into one company, which takes a lot of conviction. And this conviction will not come from the inside. It can only come from the outside. And therefore, it is very important that you frame the pitch not as a pitch to your friends, instead as a self-evaluation round, which is helpful and truthful. Because before you commit all your money to an investment like this, you should definitely get a second opinion. However, the second opinion should not be gotten in a way that simply asking, "What do you think about this investment?" No. Instead, what you should do is tell them that you have this radical idea that is unconventional, that is against all the grains out there, and that is most likely going to fail. Actually, you should tell them that it's such a high risk adventure that is most likely going to fail. And when you frame it this way, you take away a lot of the arguments your friends is going to pitch against you, because if you are willing to accept that this is a very high risk high reward strategy, then they're not going to tell you this is a scam because you're going to get lose your money but you will have no returns, things like that. So ideally frame it as a second opinion, a vetting process for you and your friends. So, and start with your best friends. I would always start with the people who can honestly give you a feedback first. Don't start with people who barely know you, who don't care about your outcome, who just want to tell you what you want to hear. Those people are not a good candidate to pitch, because even If they tell you it's a fantastic idea, that you should go for it, secretly they're hoping that you're going to fail. Because most people in your environment are actually hoping that you're going to fail, believe it or not. That's just human nature. Our human nature dictates that we don't want other people to succeed. We actually want ourselves to succeed. And if other people succeed earlier, faster than us, by default, we're losing in the process. So you want to avoid that scenario. Instead, you want to choose one man, ideally a man, not a woman. I'm not a sexist, but unfortunately, women are very risk averse. And anything with high risk, doesn't matter how high is the reward, they will just say no to it. That's just nature of the beast. So in your case, you want to find the most logical thinking man you can find in your circle who is giving you honest feedbacks, and then invite him to a coffee, not dinner, just coffee. Ask him for 1 hour of his time, 30 minutes to 1 hour of his time. Just tell him you need somebody to help you out with second opinion on the one of the most unique approach to a multi-million dollar asset by end of next year. If he's willing to listen to it, willing to give you a second opinion, you buy him a coffee. Otherwise, there's nothing in it for you, there's nothing in it for him. So the neutral setup is very important, because if you pay somebody large amount of money to tell you what you want to hear, and you're going to hear exactly what he thinks you want to hear, that doesn't work. So a coffee is all you need. A surrounding like this is ideal. And then you have to explain to him how you found my channel. Most likely you found my channel by YouTube recommendation, or you have searched for one of the keywords like NIO share price, things like that. You can be honest. Just tell him that this idea is not by yourself. Instead, you adopted this idea from somebody else on the internet, and you have been watching this person for 4 months, and everything he has been saying so far has become reality. That's the first step. Second, more important, is that you need to explain to him the fundamentals of the NIO as a business. Let him understand that NIO is the only company in the world with the valid battery swapping strategy for the entire world, not just for China, but for the entire world. And when you have explained it that way, he'll get curious. Basically, telling him that NIO most likely will end up being another Tesla. When Tesla goes down, the money will come out of Tesla and go into somewhere else. And where it goes to, the most likely candidate is actually NIO. So there's a $1 trillion market cap waiting to enter a $15 billion opportunity. This is the simplest way to demonstrate the upside potential, the 20x. And then he's going to ask you the question about how sure you are about the future. What about the reality that NIO share price has dropped from $66 to $3.50? Are you not afraid the share price continue going to drop back down to 350 again, and companies still losing money? Why it is still losing money? Then your counter argument is very simple. First of all, the best tech company in the world in the first 10 years is losing money. That's very normal, because the number one priority for a tech company is to deploy the technology and develop the technology. Deployment and development, these two things cost enormous amount of money. But once you have occupied the space in the tech space with your patents, which NIO has 10,000 patents, more than anybody else. Once you have done that, you basically occupy the technological advantage for the next 30 years. Some patents last 50 years, some 30 years, some 25 years. So this is a head start that nobody else can catch. And because of that, the valuation of the technology alone far exceeds the current market cap of the company. You can tell him this. You basically get the factory for free, the customers for free, you get the dealerships for free, the showrooms for free, the new houses is free, the charging stations free, the swapping stations free. You're paying for the tech. 15 billion US dollar is not even enough to reinvent what they have done. It is not possible, Because if you want to legally do the same technology, you're going to cost you far more than $15 billion. I did some back of envelope calculation. It costs about 25 to $35 billion. So you get the tech and you get everything else for free. This is how you should be pitching the idea of investing in NIO to them. And then the next question is, how sure are you that NIO can go to $100 by December 2026? And that's the moment you have to pivot away from your own pitch and tell him, I'm not sure. I'm not capable of telling you this is true or not true, but you can watch this dude on the internet on Neo Life channel. He has made almost 300 videos. I may have already made more than 300 videos. I have lost count actually about this topic. And he just needs to start, your friend just needs to start watching the videos from the one that I made in Project Kilikan, where the logo, the thumbnail of the video is with Neo 100 with the blue sky in the background. That's the video you should refer to as the very first video he should be watching. The title is just simply Neo 100 repeated 10 times, I think, 8 or 10 times, I'm not sure. So that's the video you should refer to and let everybody else watch. Basically, in the 30 minutes, your idea is to pitching the technology to the friend. Make him understand that this tech is so unique and so dominant that no one can replicate it. And this is an indisputable fact. He can dispute everything else, like share price, timeline, everything else, but he cannot dispute the fact that it takes billions and billions of dollars to actually develop such a technology and to become a global leader. Because even Tesla tried and didn't do it, couldn't do it. Many other companies has tried. They all couldn't do it. Stick to the facts that you know. You have 30 minutes to convince him that the facts you are telling him about are the real facts. Let him fact check you. And after that, get him interested and start him out on the journey of Neo 100. You will never convince anybody in 30 minutes that he'll put all his money into Neo. That's never going to happen. Even if you give that task to me, unless the other person is highly intelligent, very experienced in investing, it is impossible task. In fact, the less experience a person has in investing, the less likely he is going to be able to be convinced to do such a high risk investment. Sorry, I had to turn around because I'm not looking at the door, so I don't know who is coming. So basically, your task is to convince him that here is a unique opportunity that actually exists. That's all you have to do. You have 30 minutes to 1 hour to convince your friend that this opportunity exists and it's a real opportunity. And he should invest more time and effort into looking into this opportunity. That's all there is. It is not possible for somebody to could be convinced in half an hour that NEO is a great investment. It is only possible if you are facing someone like Warren Buffett, who has already had enough experience. He can make such a decision in 20 seconds, and he can stick to that decision. I remember there was an interview about him talking about his investment BYD, and he said it was not his idea, but after the person who brought the idea, the current CEO basically, has brought the idea of BYD to him, he listened to it for a minute or two, and he decided it was a great idea. So even Warren Buffett didn't find BYD himself. I believe one day NIO will be found by many other value investors similar to Warren Buffett. In fact, I believe NIO is probably the biggest value play on the planet Earth right now. This value play is not in case of book value. The value play here is in case of technological value. What are you paying versus what kind of tech you're getting? So this is a super important differentiator between investing in a classic company that has hard assets versus a tech company like NEO that has nothing but fantastic patents, great execution team, absolute dominating market share in this segment, and proven execution over the past 8 years. I personally cannot find any other investment, and I'm looking. Trust me, I'm looking every day. In case you don't know, 99% of my time I'm not spending on NIO at all. Not at all. I don't think about NIO. 99% of the time I'm trying to learn two languages at once, Lao and Thai. I'm trying to learn culture in a brand new environment without any preparation. And I'm learning a brand new city. And I'm learning how to make friends here. I'm learning so many other things. I don't have time for NIO, believe it or not. Yeah, the guy who's most bullish on planet Earth on NIO has not spent any time on NIO. If that surprises you, it shouldn't. Why? Because I already done my research. The time I used to spend on NIO was 2, 3 years ago. I actually spent almost 3 years on NIO of my research time. And that's not just NIO, but every other EV companies too. I'm done with that. I already put down the chips. I already played my hand, so to speak, and I expect fully the outcome to be realized by December 2026. Therefore, there's no reason for me to spend any more time on NEO because all I have to do is wait for the time to happen. Because you didn't do that, you have to still do your homework and get validation from your friends or get challenged by your friends and overcome the challenges as well. Yeah. In fact, there's one more interesting thing. Um, to give you the comparison, recently I had a phone call, 1 hour phone call with one of my best friends in Australia. He's pretty young, only 22 years old. He's actually a fashion model. He was a model, professional model in Tokyo for 2 years. And he wants to invest a large amount of money into specific companies. He was not sure which one. I told him about NEO. I did a pitch to him. Took me 1 hour. Now he's doing due diligence. And very soon, if he decides for it, he's gonna go all in into NEO. For some guy who is 22 years old, he's gonna put all his money in it. I will introduce him to the crowd if he agrees to it, and if he actually commit 100% of his capital to NEO, then I will introduce him. Otherwise, I will just tell you what I'm preaching here to you guys is what I'm doing with my own friend circle. There's nothing new. I'm not telling something that I'm not doing myself. If I could, I would go around here, this cafe. This is such a busy cafe. I don't know why it's so busy here. So many young people here. This is actually ideal environment getting challenged for a new investment idea, particularly by people who have no idea what you're investing in. Give you a long shot one more time. Uh, Very nice environment. I absolutely enjoyed this new vibe. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. And this coffee place called B Coffee, etc. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Maybe I should move over there. Oh no, someone else already doing it. So good.